Imagine a world where hopping on a bike for your daily errands feels as effortless and safe as a leisurely stroll in the park, without any dreaded traffic snarls holding you back. That's the tantalizing promise of a groundbreaking study that could revolutionize how we navigate our neighborhoods. But here's where it gets controversial. What if slashing speed limits from 50 kilometers per hour to a gentler 30 kilometers per hour in residential zones isn't just about cyclist safety, but a bold step toward greener cities, and one that might ruffle feathers among car enthusiasts who swear it spells chaos on the roads? Let's dive into the details from this eye-opening research by RMIT University's team, who meticulously evaluated stress levels on every road in the greater Melbourne area and simulated the impacts of these lower speed caps on both bikers and motorists. Their findings reveal that dropping limits to 30 kilometers per hour in local residential streets could transform cycling into a stress-free adventure, effectively doubling the number of rides on what they call low-stress paths. This shift would create a welcoming haven for kids learning to pedal and those less confident riders who currently shy away from the saddle due to fears of speed demons whizzing by. Dr. Afshin Jafari, the study's lead researcher, puts it simply: by calming down traffic, we make biking feel less intimidating, motivating folks to ditch the car keys for a helmet and a pair of wheels as a secure, practical way to get around. This addresses a key barrier. Many current bike routes, often squeezed onto 60 kilometers per hour roads, are downright nerve-wracking for cyclists. Picture trying to navigate a narrow lane while cars zoom past at highway speeds. It's no wonder so many opt out of cycling altogether. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about the thrill seekers. It's about making biking accessible to everyone, fostering healthier lifestyles, and reducing reliance on fossil fuels. The beauty of this approach? It hardly disrupts car travel at all, since the 30 kilometer per hour rule would apply only to quieter local streets, not the bustling main roads or highways engineered for smooth, high-speed flow. The study predicts minimal delays for drivers. In fact, if you've ever grumbled about bumper-to-bumper traffic on arterials, you'd know those remain untouched, keeping commutes zippy. These insights arrive just as Victoria rolls out a fresh law empowering local councils to introduce 30 kilometers per hour limits in school zones and neighborhood streets, a move designed to prioritize safety around young ones and walkers alike. It's timely, especially when you consider the broader picture painted by Dr. Elliot Fishman from the Institute for Sensible Transport, who wasn't part of the RMIT study. He points out that Australia's cycling habits are stubbornly low, with just 2% of work commutes happening on two wheels, and that figure hasn't budged much in 2 decades, despite government pushes for change. In bustling cities like Sydney and Melbourne, there are swarms of short jaunts, think under 5 kilometers, that are perfectly suited for biking, but get gobbled up by cars instead. To give you a sense of scale, Greater Sydney sees over 6 million daily trips shorter than 5 kilometers, with more than 2 million clocking in under 2 kilometers. In Melbourne, over half of non-work journeys are within a bikeable 5-kilometer radius. Yet Fishman argues the primary culprit keeping people behind the wheel is a pervasive sense of vulnerability on the road. The big reason folks pick cars for those trips over bikes is they don't feel secure cycling, he explains. Lowering speeds could be a lifesaver, literally. Fishman cites stark survival stats. Getting clipped by a 50 kilometer per hour car gives you just a 1.5 in 10 shot at walking away unharmed. But bump it down to 30 kilometers per hour, and your odds soar to 9 in 10. Countries like the Netherlands exemplify this, where 28% of all trips are by bike, thanks to their embrace of 30 kilometer per hour residential norms. But here's the controversial twist that might spark debate. Simply slapping up 30 kilometers an hour signs won't cut it. Fishman stresses the need for clever street redesigns to truly enforce slower paces, such as modal filters, those smart barriers using traffic cones, plants, or barriers to block through traffic rat-running, where drivers sneak shortcuts through quiet neighborhoods. These aren't just about safety. They could quietly challenge the status quo, making residential areas more pedestrian and cyclist-friendly while potentially frustrating some motorists who view them as unnecessary roadblocks. Is this an overreach into personal freedoms or a necessary evolution for livable cities? Zooming out, this isn't just about bikes versus cars. By 2030, transportation is poised to eclipse electricity as Australia's top greenhouse gas emitter, with emissions on the rise in this sector alone, per government reports. Boosting active transport, like walking and cycling, is a cornerstone of the federal government's net zero roadmap, offering a path to slash carbon footprints while encouraging healthier routines. What do you think? Does this research convince you that slower residential speeds are the key to safer, greener streets? Or do you worry it'll just create more headaches for drivers? Share your thoughts below. Do you agree with prioritizing cyclists in neighborhoods, or is there a counterpoint I'm missing? Let's discuss.